Hey everyone, Ducky here. Been having a lot of fun with the grand opening of World Boss recently, and I was just able to hit 33.5 million on the new World Boss. So I wanted to make a little guide for you guys. All the clips are coming from my recent Twitch streams, so gonna have to pardon my endless droning and ranting, but hopefully you guys get the gist of it. So I hope this is helpful to everybody and hope you enjoy. goes infinite on Team 1. And it's really, really, really easy to build. I mean, just put whatever you want on these units. Just make sure they have speed and some crit rate. Like, this is just kind of a whatever. And then just make sure your Iota, like, she has to be on swiftness. Because once she gets down to 1 HP, she can lap the boss. She can basically perma-stun the boss by herself with swiftness on. She's that fast compared to the boss. So as much speed as possible on swiftness, and she goes crazy. The other tech option that I don't think people really thought about was Diane. 10 speed to the entire team, just through her transcendence if you have her 6-star. And she pushes the ally with the highest attack. Also, yeah, so Diane's here for a lot of reasons. Attacks the enemy, but increases the priority of the ally with the highest attack by 20%. So guess what? Make sure your Iota has the highest attack. So then Val is pushing her, Diane is pushing her, and Notia is pushing her. That's how Iota can perma-lock the boss down. The other thing, outside of the 10 speed, is her S2. So the important thing for the team transfer when you go into the second phase is obviously your Iota has 1 HP. But buffs carry over to the next phase. So she's kind of a nice safety net because Iota's so fast at the end that sometimes it's kind of hard to time when to put up her invincibility buff. Like, you can put it up, think that you have enough time, and then she'll zoom past your whole team again and lose the buff. But Diane's S2 extends the durations of all buffs. So it makes the transition into phase 2 basically impossible to screw up. And so you're always guaranteed to make it and set up for phase 2 and not having to worry about phase 1. I mean, phase 1 is literally just press S1, don't use chain skills, make sure that you have your crit buff up, and use Valentine's S3 whenever it's available. The boss will never move. Turn 1, 10 chains. And don't even use burst skills because that will make the boss go down too fast. Just continually use S1s, no burst, and you'll be fine. It's hilarious. And then, like I was talking about phase 2. So D Stella is a real champion here. You just want her to be as fast as you can get her with 100% crit rate. That's essentially all she's there for. M Eva, I think there is the attitude of you need some luck, because I usually ran her on speed. I could get her to 268 with 100% crit rate. And I just don't think it was worth it. I actually switched her to full counter set, because when she counters, that's a lot of CP generation, and you're actually dinging the boss a little bit on the weakness gauge because dual attack hits help. And keep in mind that whenever D Stella dual attacks, she gets 20% priority. So every time that she can S1 is actually a huge efficiency gain to your team. D Stella priority push, CP generation for the whole team, and you're actually doing weakness gauge to the boss. So M Eva is just crazy irreplaceable. Tamamo makes this team so much more difficult to manage. But the fact that every time you chain with her in S1 is 320,000 once you get past SS tier on the boss. That's whenever his HP goes to like its maximum limit. Because you'll notice when you transition into the boss fight and you use her chain skill for the first time, it'll only do like 23,000 damage. And you're like, what the heck? And then once you hit SS rank, you'll notice 320,000. So she's all about speed, crit rate, and you need accuracy, because like this is not enough accuracy. This number, ideally, I found out is somewhere around 240 to 250, realistically. 250 is the ideal number. 240, you can get away with it pretty well. But also keep in mind all of your quirks. Like your quirks give you accuracy against like light bosses or dark bosses or whatever. But since she's fire, I don't think she doesn't get those buffs. So and she needs to be really fast because the boss puts a permanent speed debuff on all non-L&D units. So she's fighting against that. Dai's Ire is basically a must. So whenever she does counter and places that evasion debuff on her, boom, 80% priority. So that is just the little intricacies that you have to pay attention to when using Tamamo in this comp. But again, she's there to help you push that ceiling, to push that 30 million number. But oh my gosh, is she a nightmare to manage. And then Stella's the other tech that is really, really important. I want her as fast as possible. And she's there as an AP feeder right here. After attacking, recovers action points of herself and the next skill chain caster. So that's why you see me bouncing back and forth between feeding AP to Emiva and feeding AP to D Stella. This I never would have imagined would have been this important, but it really is for enabling the team.